Hi guys, I'm Blazeberry and I have a secret to better health and I'm sure that you do not want to miss this. Ever heard of the word kefir? Well, kefir is the star of our show today. Kefir is said to have come from the Turkish word kef, which means good feeling. And this absolutely does give you a good feeling when you drink it. Kefir is actually a fermented milk beverage and it's actually a symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria. It's very beneficial for your gut, and I will show you why. This special concoction dates all the way back to many centuries ago. It is said that the shepherds of the Caucasus Mountains actually carried kefir grains in a leather pouch, and throughout the day the kefir grains would actually ferment into a fuzzy, sour milk beverage. And it's also said that a diet rich in kefir grains has attributed to the long and healthy life of the shepherds of the Caucasus Mountains. These are how they made it through sicknesses, through ailnesses, through illnesses. Now, if that hasn't convinced you yet, why don't you take a look at this list of benefits proven all the way back from centuries ago. Okay, has this convinced you? Let's get started. Ta-da! Now these are jars of kefir that I have made up. Some are going through their second day of fermenting, which is called double fermenting, which makes it taste so much better. Let's begin. You will need any kind of milk. Everything I'm using is plastic. A plastic bowl, a plastic cylinder, a plastic mesh strainer. This is actually a reusable coffee strainer. And then my little Asian soup spoon. And of course, we recycle up in this household. This is not mayonnaise, it's kefir. This is not mayonnaise, it's kefir too. These are my bottles of double fermentation. So these are actually done, no kefir grains, because the kefir grains that I used here are in these babies. As you can see, there's pockets of whey at the bottom. My kefir grains have risen to the top. And I'm going to show you how to go from step 1 to step done. It's very simple. I forgot. I needed an empty container. So I'm going to grab one of my jars of kefir. I'm going to shake it up just a little bit just to help the kefir filter through a little bit. And I'm just going to pour it into my little setup that I made here. Splashing on my lip. Yeah, this takes a little bit of time, but it's very beneficial to your body. I cannot stress that enough. You just strain all the grains, strain grains, strain grains. I've actually tried making this with soy milk and almond milk. I love the taste of the soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk, but kefirified, nah. I prefer regular milk. Any type of regular milk is fine. Any specialty diet type milk, blech. But then again, people look at regular kefir like, ooh, you drink milk that's been sitting out for 2 days? That's disgusting. Well, you know what? While I'm living long and healthy, you're going to be sitting there sick. So, I mean, people in the mountains, you think they have Panama City malls or gas stations or little shopping plazas anywhere? No, they don't. They have this. This is their medicine. This is their food. This is how they survive to be hundreds of years old, okay? So you just sit there and be disgusted while I'm laughing all the way to my vacation because I'm not sick. I'm healthy. Just kidding. Why don't you just shut up? Okay. This is basically what it looks like. People describe it as cottage cheese-like substance or cauliflower. This is a symbiotic balance of yeast and billions and billions of beneficial bacteria. This is going to kill off all of the bad bacteria in your body and all kinds of harmful pollutants and chemicals that you're ingesting. Okay? This is going to do the work for you internally. Kefir grains. So now that we've actually separated the grains from the kefir beverage, it becomes this milky substance. I'm going to reuse this jar, and I actually reuse my jars for about 5 to 7 days sitting out, and then I'll wash it really good and then reuse it. It's like a thick milk. At this stage, you can drink it. It's going to taste like, people say buttermilk. It's not sweet, of course, but it's just a really thick, warm, milky beverage. My boyfriend prefers it double fermented because this double fermentation, it makes it taste a little fizzy, and it just adds zing to it. You know, when you drink it, like, how do you feel like when you drink soda? You're like, so refreshing. Well, that's how you feel when it's been double fermented. How do you double ferment? Simple. Let this sit for another 24 hours. This becomes the double fermented milk kefir. So this is kefir that's been sitting out for 24 hours. And of course, once you strain it, it becomes this. Let this sit for 24 hours, it becomes this. And this, once you double ferment it, it actually adds or creates somehow more vitamins like B6, B12. It's got your amino acids, your enzymes. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And it's so beneficial. Another thing that I would like to point out, no metal! No metal, okay? Please do not forget that. Kefir don't like metal. You're going to kill them, okay? What I want to let you know is that your kefir grains are going to multiply. Remember when I said I got one little teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever, I don't know my measurements, tablespoon of kefir. I've got this container. It's my sleeping kefir. This is almost 32 ounces that I've doubled, plus my 6 jars that I had every year of kefir. So as you're making this, your kefir is going to grow and multiply because it's yeast and bacteria. This, like I said, requires no cooking. That's all. Once I have strained this and I'm done, this is what I do. This is done, okay? What I'm going to do now that I have transferred those grains and sucked them all out of there, I'm going to reuse my grains. I'm just going to add these back into a Tostitos jar. This is probably about 2 tablespoons in here. I'm just going to leave it at that because I want to use more. So you put your strained kefir grains in a jar. They prefer jars, but plastic containers, as long as it's no metal, you're fine, okay? No metal. Get that? No metal. Remember it. Mental note. Take a picture. Whatever. No metal. I'm trying to get this milk cap off. Okay. And this is all you do. You pour your milk over your kefir grains. You want to make sure that you have some room that is not all the way at the top, okay? And you place your lid on it. Gently shake it so that the kefir is distributing and just swimming in the milk. And then you want to loosen your lid. That's that. So this is my brand new baby batch. This is going to sit for 24 hours. Throughout the day, like I said, you're going to notice these pockets of whey. My kefir grains have floated to the top. My kefir grains at the bottom, beginner. At the top, they're done. They're ready to be strained. Baby bottle of kefir sits for 24 hours. Once that 24 hours is up, it looks like this. Once it looks like this, you strain it. You strain your grains in your bowl. You put your grains aside, and your leftover kefir is in here. This sits for another 24 hours. So 48 hours in the making, and you will have double fermented kefir, and it's so yummy. What I want to do now is take this one away because I got to strain this out, remember. Put these two babies together and cover it up. Why? Why do we cover it up? Because it's fermenting, because it's a beverage, because it's food for gnats and roaches. So you want to keep those bad boys out of there. So you want to keep these bad boys covered up. You want to check on these periodically, but don't disturb. Remember, no metal and don't disturb. And then you check them, and when they're done, you will know, because what? Your grains are going to rise to the top, and because you're going to have whey floating all around your bottles. So if you have any questions, I would love for you to ask me, or do your research on your own like I did. And now I'm hooked. I cannot get rid of this. There's one thing that I do want to remind you of though. As your grains are multiplying, and should you decide to take a vacation for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, you can actually separate your grains like I did. You can strain all the kefir out, save that kefir, drink it. Your grains and your kefir will last for months and months and months undisturbed. But get a container, metal, no, plastic or jar container. And you want to add your kefir grains in there, and you want to pour your milk, just like you're making a fresh batch of kefir. But what you're going to do is put this immediately in the refrigerator. Don't let it sit out for the 2 or 3 weeks that you're gone, please, unless you want to come into a house smelling like dead bodies. You want to put this in the refrigerator, and it's still going to ferment, but it's going to ferment at a slower process. And when you're done with this, when you come back from your vacation, you strain this out exactly like I did. Get your strainer, put it in a bowl, and you can immediately add whatever milk you want to, and then you put it in a jar and just begin step 1 all over again. And if you decide to take a break for a longer time, you just change out your milk every 2 to 3 weeks. And that's that. I mean, this is sleeping kefir grains. I have to make sure that I mark everything in the household. So these have been sleeping since August 4th. I'll probably leave them in for another 2 weeks, and then I'll strain them out and then start a new batch with this. And these grains that I have here, which is probably about the same amount, I'll put those in this container and let those sleep and just kind of give them time to rest, because they're doing so much work for you. They're constantly working. They don't even get paid. They get eaten. So give your kefir grains time to rest and just rejuvenate themselves. So that way when they come back, they can come back with a punch. So hopefully you're interested in changing your lifestyle and adding kefir grains. And if you're lactose intolerant, these kefir grains actually eat the lactic sugars in the milk. Those are what people cannot digest. These kefir grains actually make it to where your body can digest it, okay? If you're nervous about it, do your research and take a tablespoon here or there. It's best to start small just so you'll know how your body's going to react. I know, too good to be true. No, but yes, actually try these benefits for yourself and see how good you feel. It's great if you're on a diet. I mean, it's just like eating plain yogurt, but it's just more beneficial. So I would love to hear any feedback from you. If you need help ordering, please email me, contact me any way that you know how. I can direct you to sites. I can ship you some out. If you live here locally in Panama City, I'd be happy to meet you. I just want to get this word out and start bringing these old traditions back to us, because we are living off of a disgusting junk food world, processed meats, and it's just not good. I want my family to live long and healthy, and I want you to do the same. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that this was educational enough for you and makes you want to go out and start your own batch. Start some tonight, please. That's all that we have for today's show, and hopefully I will hear from you soon. Ta-tas, ta-tas.